Yo, what's going on, people? So, just got off of work, about to hit the gym. Yeah, I'm an obsessive compulsive exerciser, and if I mess up talking in this video, I'm not going to start over. I'm going to just resume talking if I mess up. But since I see that I'm gaining a little bit of an audience, I want to start posting every day. It sounds a little crazy. I don't ask for no money on here. I don't look for donations, but I am trying to maybe by the end of the year get to 1,000 subscribers. Just so it's not really about money. Yeah, I don't get paid for this, but I do want some of the things I say. I wanted to reach somebody. Not that people who watch me aren't important, but I want somebody to hear me that can spread my message. Like I said, I appreciate anybody that watches me. But if somebody was just strolling across this channel and they hear the things I'm talking about, I hope it could reach somebody in a way where that my message can just disseminate to the masses. Because I've noticed how when we look for some buffoonish ass comedian or some kind of Instagram comedian or somebody to appear on some talk show, or they have a video that goes viral, they're on like some kind of platform, like they're a new like web celebrity. They look online for these kind of people. You know, that's how they get their big break. Now, I'm not trying to make a career out of talking on YouTube, because that's not really a job or a career. Anybody can just talk about things, but it's like I just feel like I say a lot of the things people don't want to really talk about. But today I want to tell you about my first day at a public high school. How I went to a high school for 2 weeks after having to leave my first high school. So in total, I attended 4 high schools in a span of 4 years. Well, not really 4 years, 3 years and some change. 1 Catholic school, 2 public, 1 online. This is the second school I was going to at the time. This is 2010, around June. And this is just what I can remember. So I missed about March, April, a little bit of May. I missed about 3 months of school. And I didn't want to have to repeat the 9th grade. So what they were looking back, just so as an adult, like, you know, I'm on my own, but as an adult, it wouldn't have been bad to repeat, not, I don't want to talk about that, but anyway, for the 9th grade, I went to my neighborhood school. I had 2 choices because I had 2 addresses. Could have been my dad's, which was Bartram, or it could have been my mom's, which, well, it was my mom's. My mom's was Samuel Fells High School. And with my autistic mind at 15, see, I have a mind of an adult. After 3 years of just reality wake-up calls, I have the mind of a 29-year-old adult. But my brain had to develop into that for the 2-3 years. At 15, I had the mind of like a 9-year-old. I'm not trying to be funny. I had the mind of a 9-year-old. I'm all thinking to myself, you know, I'm gonna go to school and it's gonna be cool. Like, I'm gonna go to class. This is what I'm thinking. So this is a public school in Philadelphia. I'm thinking, you know, kids are, you know, go to class, they do their homework, they have study hall, you know, they don't spray paint on the walls, everybody comes to class on time, and Everybody's shirts tucked in. And this is the first time I don't have to wear a uniform to school. I wore a uniform. Yeah, this is the only school I didn't have to wear a uniform. Next to the online school, my uniform was usually my underwear, but I didn't have to wear a uniform at this school. So I didn't have a lot of nice clothes back then. Like the fashion for 2010 at the time was skinny jeans, Vans were popular, and I didn't have any friends at all. So I didn't know what music was popular. I didn't have a phone. So I don't know what was the popular music of that time. Like I do now, but I didn't know like, oh, what's everybody listening to? So my first day, I remember my dad drove me there. See, my first day, I'm trying to think back. I wasn't anxious at going at all. I was actually really happy on going. My dad drove me there all time. So I had to go there. I had to finish ninth grade out. The 2 weeks that I had left, I had to just go to class there for 2 weeks. He drove me there every day. And at the time, he was taking off from his job at he used to work for SEPTA. He was taking off from work. He took his a lot of his vacation, his sick time. He just wasn't going to work, but he was making money. So he was driving me there, and I'm happy. Like the first day, I go in there. Like imagine a 9-year-old boy going to school. He thinks there's no danger. All the kids are like, I'm used to getting bullied every school I've been to, but I'm thinking it's going to be just a nice environment. It's going to be safe. No graffiti, no gangs, no drugs, no cigarettes. Everybody just goes to class, whatever. Man, I remember the first day I walked in there. I'm trying to think back. It had to be the second class, maybe the first one. I walk in and I think maybe another student maybe said like, we got a new student here. I walked in there and I remember this black girl was like, I heard she was talking shit. She was saying like, why at the end of the fucking year he wants to come to class? Like the teacher didn't say like, oh, we got a new student, but I was talking to her. I was a little, see, when I noticed that they were, you had kids dancing in the hallway, you had kids disrespecting staff, you had police in there. That's something I wasn't used to. You had cops in the school, you had metal detectors. There you go. It was a metal detector in the school, and it was a school police officer. So that was just something different. I'm like, okay, this is not what I was thinking. What would it be like? So, as I'm walking in, I'm just kind of caught off guard by everything. I go to class, and as soon as before I walk in the door, I just hear this girl saying, "But why at the end of the fucking year you want to come to school?" And I'm just like, hey guys, but I don't even make conversation in this class. I don't think I talk to anybody. And maybe the class before that or the one after that, this is what happened. So I talked about this on one channel I had. I talked about my first time going to public school on another channel. Let me tell you something. I had this dude, he jumped up on my desk. He looked at me, standing up. He said, "Are you new?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he was just saying, "Don't draw with it." And I know what drawing is a slang term from Philly, meaning it's the equivalent of wilding. People in New York say, "Yo, you wilding right now." Drawing means the same thing as that. So I don't have a great urban dictionary definition, but that's all I can tell you is that that's what it means. It's the same thing as wilding, acting crazy. People from the Midwest say tweaking. Drawing is the same thing as tweaking. So I'm like, I don't say nothing back, and that just stuck in my head. That's been stuck in my head for 14 years. So I'm just like, you know, they were kind of talking shit in class. I lied and told them that I came from North Catholic High School, which closed down that very same year. They were closing down a lot of the schools in the archdiocese. That school closed down, and I lied and told them. I'm not going to tell you why I had to leave my last school. Actually, I was told they expelled me. I'm not going to really go into detail about that, but they said that I said I'm from North Catholic, and she was like, you said North Africa, and if you didn't know, I'm a lot darker in my when I'm not on camera. I'm a little more darker. That doesn't bother. See, this is the thing. That doesn't bother me. Like, I'll put it like this: I'm comfortable in my own skin, and like in every aspect in my life, I'm comfortable with. I feel like this: people are uncomfortable with what other people perceive, and I don't really live my life by that. I could care less what other people think, but it's more of people aren't comfortable with what they're going to feel from other people. So I don't really live my life off of what other people feel of me, if that makes any sense. It's like people gonna say bad things about you, but I just refuse to like get mad or not love myself based off of what another person thinks. But I was in class. I remember I was in class, and they were like joking around. I remember it was this girl, and I'm just thinking of the story as I'm talking. It was this girl who sat behind me. She sort of like joined into a lot of the insults. She was joining in, and she was saying like, if somebody comes up to you and you won't have to fight, you won't have to just like fight. I remember she was saying that I won't have to fight if it comes up. Like, you gotta just handle that if it happens. And I was just thrown off by everything, because I'm like, they got fights in here. You had people disrespecting the teachers, because there was a lot of that going on. They were cursing in class. That's something that see, in high school, some teachers that I had in my first high school, they cursed, but they were cursing at teachers. They were walking out of class. And to be honest, after that the second class, I literally just wandered the halls, and I hid in the bathroom most of the day, because I just didn't want to go to class, be seen by everybody. I mean, it's like the first time I'm in public school. I didn't want to really deal with everybody, like asking me, why you leave. And by the way, I lied and said that I was caught cheating, and that's why I got expelled. That's not why I got expelled, but I told them that, and I feel like that's a better story versus the real reason why I had to leave the first school. But maybe one day I'll tell you why, like, I got expelled from the first school. But but yeah, when after that first class happened, I just didn't go to none of my classes after that. Like, usually, it was I was really supposed to just sign in, and that would just give me promoted to like the 10th grade, so I didn't have to repeat the 9th grade over. But all day I just literally just hid in the bathroom or just wandered the halls. And let me tell you, see, Fells is near, it's about maybe a 20-minute drive from my mother's house. So I'm dealing with some people. That's a neighborhood school, so some people may be like if you're from Frankfurt, you're going to go to Frankfurt High School. Some people may be from not far from Frankfurt, but their house is close by, so they'll just go to Fells. And I knew like a lot of them didn't live around my neighborhood, but that's why I went there. It was like the closest public school nearby. So I'm like, it was a lot of it was like whites. There was some whites, a lot of blacks, and Hispanics. It was like half and half with the Hispanics and a few whites. So the whites, they usually go to like the private schools, or they go to schools, you know, further away from where they actually live. But yeah, that first day, it was just wasn't what I was expecting. And by the way, I saw a former classmate. I ran into her. I saw her, and we didn't say nothing to each other. I saw her in the hallway, and I sort of put my head down. We never really got along. It was this heavyset girl that I used to make fun of. I wasn't popular, but people used to bully her, and I used to sort of join into it a little bit. The second day, I had an anxiety attack in the car. My dad was driving me there. I did not want to go back there, but I wanted to finish the 9th grade. So I had my first ever like bad anxiety attack where I couldn't even move. You know, I was just so I didn't know what they were going to think of me. What were they going to say? And it's funny how almost going on 15 years later, that these things I deal with as an adult are nothing compared to, well, I'm not going to make it like my problems were minuscule. I'm not going to make it like my problems weren't that important. They were, you know what, I'm not going to say that. They were important, because as an adult, as a kid, your problems are just as important as they are as an adult. As an adult, let me rephrase that. Your problems as a kid are just as bad as they are as an adult. Now, things can be maybe a little tougher if you're on your own, but dealing with bullies, dealing with body image issues, dealing with not fitting in, you know, going to a school at the end of the fucking year, and people, and you know, you stick out like a sore thumb. It's not, it's equivalent to being in the real world, dealing with real life problems as an adult. So my problems as a kid were just as bad as they are as an adult. I just feel like I didn't have to worry about bills and feeding myself. But I had an anxiety attack the second day. I didn't want to go back there. And I don't know if it was the first day or the second day, but I remember a parent was complaining about how her son got attacked. He got beaten up. And my dad and I were witnessing this, hearing this in the office, as he was he was going to leave me and come back, because I believe he picked me up. Yeah, he picked me up after every day. He would come and just pick me up, because he wasn't working. He was on vacation. And looking back, like I said, these are things I appreciate as a parent. I just feel like, if you guys know my story, things would have been a lot better if we were more of a family than a broken up, blended family. That's just what I feel about that. But you know, school wasn't really let me tell you this. So, because I'm thinking as I'm talking. So I wound up finishing the 2 weeks there. Some days, honestly, I would just sign and try to leave, but my dad was like, no, just finish, go to your classes. And I did. I don't know how I got through those 2 weeks. I wish I had like social media back then, like a YouTube. I didn't have really a phone back then, but I wish I recorded a lot of this stuff like I am now. But everything I dealt with, my anxiety on like going to class and dealing with people talking about me or having like bad self-esteem. See, these are the things I don't really, I'm over with at this point in life. Like, I don't feel fear going to work. I don't fear people. It just went away through a lot of the stuff I've been through. But I'm gonna come in just a little bit. If you saw me talking a little low, it was this guy next to me. He was I don't know if he was listening, but it was just like, it felt kind of weird having somebody listen to me talk. But you know, I shaved yesterday. It just, that mustache looked kind of weird. But as I was I finished the 2 weeks at school, finished the 2 weeks, And we spent the whole summer trying to find a better school because I was not going to do 10th grade there. Now, if it was what I foreseen for the school to be, like what I envisioned, what I thought it was, what I anticipated the school to be when I first was going to go, I would have did 4 years there. But it was a shithole. I think my cousin on my mom's side by marriage, he went to that school, and it was like he was in there fighting every day. My cousin, who I said was a little bit of a simp, he went to that very same school, and it was like he was fighting there every day. What else? Yeah, we were looking for a school that year, and let me tell you this. So we wound up finding a high school. We were looking around at high schools, and let me tell you this story of this bullshit ass high school that looked like it used to be a AIDS clinic. That wasn't funny, but it just looked like it used to be like an abandoned Family Dollar, and they just put like high school on it. So one day, my mom was telling me about this school not too far. You get on the 70 bus. It's not far away. And I was like, what's the name of the school? And this is a real school. I'm not lying. I may give you some pictures of this shit. It's called Northeast Prep High School. And as we were walking to the school, we saw this dude outside. We saw this guy, this white dude. He was sweeping up outside. You know, he had a broom and a mop in his hand. And we were just like, is this Northeast Prep? Because we saw these kids smoking outside, and they were drinking Monsters. And we asked the guy sweeping, he said, is this Northeast Prep? And he was like, yes, it is. It is. How may I help you? And I was like, well, we're here for interview. We're here to meet with the principal. And he was like, nice to meet you. I'm the principal. Forgot the dude's name. And he was like, would you like to come on in? And we were like, sure. So the guy literally had on, he didn't have like an official shirt by the school, but he's like, it's like how do I describe it? It's like, imagine a cartoon and you go to like a store like Cat Dog, like Rancid Rabbit. He owned every single business in there. He was like the jail deputy. He worked at the museum. He was the manager at like Taco Depot. This guy did everything at this school, man. I go in there, and there was a female in there. We were talking. He was telling me how you could graduate high school by 16, and I want to get the fuck out of school. So he's talking, I'm just listening. I'm like, really? He's like, how can that be? Well, this is how we operate it. We do it like this. So if you're in 10th grade, we do your classes like this. So your 10th grade year starts in September, and it ends in January. Then your 11th grade year starts. Your 11th grade year ends in June. And if you want to do summer classes, you can start your 12th grade year in the summer of 2011, and it can end by December, and you'll be done high school by the age of 16. And I notice which kids are going to college and which aren't. And as I'm hearing all this, I'm like, oh my God, where do I sign? Like, where do I sign my name? And my mom and my dad, I forgot how it went because I'm 15. I got the mind of a 6-year-old. I'm telling them in the car, I'm like, guys, I can't believe y'all found a school for me. Thank you. And as we got home, both parents sat down and said, we're not sending you there. You know, cause like they were just like we started laughing a little bit. Days later, we were just saying how the guy who was like the principal and the janitor and the vice principal and the math teacher and the health aid teacher, all those classes that he taught and he swept floors, he was just my dad was just saying that doesn't sound right. Like, this doesn't sound right. And eventually, a family friend of ours who was a friend of he was a nephew of my dad's close friend growing up. He was a coach at University City High School. It closed down. He was a coach there, and he got me into that school. And I wound up just enrolling in there in the fall of, well, really the summer of 2010. And it was really different not being around females. I mean, I was so used to going to an all-boys school. It was different. In spite of, like I told you, I was at that school, the other school, for 2 weeks. I didn't really interact with anybody. So I forgot what it was like to be around the school with women. But just to throw some things in here. This is also around the time, because I'm making these videos because I was watching my childhood videos I did on here talking about my childhood, and I want to just finish it out. But I want to throw in that around this time, so I did find a school. Around that time, like June, I found a school. And it was Jared Odrick is a professional NFL player. Well, he was a professional NFL player. I really felt like if he sort of joined in to the kneeling, like the protesting of the national anthem, he could have been a lot bigger, because it doesn't say it on his Wikipedia page, but his mother is white and his father is black. And he could have been like a Colin Kaepernick, because they're both pretty much the same person. I mean, they're both mixed race. They grew up in pretty good homes. But he was drafted that year. Kaepernick was drafted the next year. I think Kaepernick wasn't drafted. I don't know. He was maybe he was undrafted, I think. But my dad went all the way to Florida, 300 miles from where I'm from, to support his father, because he signed with the Dolphins for about a nice, I think it was $5 million, but he was getting hurt a lot, and his career really lasted until like really 6 years. 2017 was his last year playing. He went to the Jaguars, not too far from where I'm at. But that was pretty big. Yeah, 2010. Let me tell you this too, just to throw this in here, since I revealed some things about myself already, because I wasn't really telling everybody everything. So around this time, I was still a little pissed off at the fact that just another woman, another female, came before me with my father. Another female did come between us, me and my dad. I just didn't like the fact that it doesn't matter like now, but it's like another woman came between me and my dad's relationship. So I don't feel like I really had like the bond that I wanted with him, because it's just hard to form a bond with somebody that you don't get along with, like that gets along with someone that you don't really particularly care for. So let me just tell you this. I told you that my porn use, so 2010, I have my own room. I have my own room at this point. So I'm able to start looking at things that if my brother saw it, he would say something. When we would share rooms, when we slept in the same room together, and I would put on like a porno as a joke, I wasn't really watching it to pleasure myself. I would just turn it. I would look at it out of curiosity. And pornos really didn't play in our house because we didn't have that kind of stuff. But it was like a nude like movie where people were like having sex. I turned to that. I forgot what channel it was on. But at this point, I have my own room. I'm really at my mom's. I don't really go back to my dad's because I don't want to be seen with I don't want to be around this girl. So around this time, I have my own room, and I'm able to look at things like movies that portray nudity and sex and all that stuff. And around this time, things were beginning to develop in me. So this movie called Cage Fury, I saw by myself in my room. I didn't close the door around this time, and I was not like touching myself around this time. But I am looking at movies that have nudity in it. I am looking at it. And there was a scene in particular where in Cage Fury, the guards were all lesbians. And they were fondling a lot of the female inmates. And it was a certain scene where like they were displaying what do you call it? They were displaying certain like sexual acts. They weren't really showing it, but they were sort of like portraying it in the movie. And that's when I begin to discover the submissive side in me, where it's like I feel like I would enjoy something like this. I would enjoy, you know, not a guy, of course, but another woman, you know, doing that. And something I don't really tell anybody, but I really am aroused by like what I see in that movie. Now I'm not looking at any porn, I'm not masturbating, but I will be honest about this. I will say this. Around this time, I do begin to develop like a hatred of females because of my dad's girlfriend, her daughter, a little bit of my mom, and just the unfair privileges that women have versus men. I'm beginning to develop a hatred, and I'm voicing it a lot at home. You know, I don't feel any sense of sexual attraction to the opposite sex, you know. In spite of what I say in my videos, I don't have any attraction at all. But I do have like crushes on girls. Now, there are girls in my school that I like the ones that I like looking at. I know they're not going to talk to me, but I do have interest in females. There is no like men in my school that I like or find attractive, but I was telling myself one day, and this was kind of weird. I was telling myself that I wish I was gay. I told myself to that, so I didn't pray at all, but I told myself one time in the dark that I wish I was gay. I wish like I was a homosexual. I was telling myself that, and I don't know if what you wish for actually comes true, but I was just saying to myself, if I was gay, maybe my dad would feel bad about how he raised me around his girlfriend. Maybe he would feel bad about it. Now, you guys know I'm not going to fast forward into next year, very like right now, but around this time, I am going through a little bit of a like, how do you say it? A little bit of a confusion period. Because let me break this down like this. This is my theory on. I made a video talking about autistic sexuality. I made a video breaking all that down. So I made it very clear that I don't find anything attractive about men at all. I don't. And I really want to say this. This is why I said I got a lot of shit that I feel like people don't want to talk about, and it would give me a lot of the stuff that I say. I feel like people want to say, but they're just too scared to say. And I really am that kind of dude who could talk about things that people don't want to talk about. But I want to say this: I don't feel like people that say that they like men, at least the ones that are like me, like the ones why I say like me, no, what I'm saying is the ones that are like masculine, and they let's come in a little bit, somebody driving up. What I mean is this: the ones that you see with like guys that are a little feminine and all that, I really feel like they are they're only interested in guys their age. Like let me say it. Let me break it down like this. I feel like homosexuality in men loses its taste around maybe like your 30s. Because I this is my opinion. I don't understand the mindset. I respect everybody, whatever they want to do, but what I'm saying is I feel like at a certain point you don't find nothing attractive about a 40-year-old man. You don't find nothing attractive about a man that's 50 or 60 or 70. Nothing is attractive about a old ass man. But I always notice that when somebody is gay that's up in age, they're always dating someone that's not in their age group. And my thought on that is they're not attracted to men. They may be just attracted to younger guys or teenagers that are legal. That's just my opinion on that. And I feel like a lot of men that are whatever, straight, gay, bi, whatever, at some point they may have like a attraction to somebody in their own gender and may not talk about it. Everybody does at some point, but I feel like it's people who just go off of that and they don't really want to deal with women. They just they find their own gender attractive. But I feel like it only goes to a certain age. Like, I'm gonna say this again. I don't feel like a gay 19-year-old would find a 40-year-old man attractive at all, unless he is like the girl in a relationship and he wants someone to lust after him and take care of him. That's a little different. But I just don't find nothing about a man that is arousing. I don't. But it was confusion at the time because of the girl. So when I was in the hospital, there was a female who I dated, but not really. She initiated all of the touching, and I really didn't like her. See, many years later, when I started having sex, I wish I could have got back in contact with her, but I wasn't comfortable with the touching. And then I was starting to question myself. I was always telling myself I'm more comfortable around my own gender. I wasn't comfortable with her touching me. What does that mean? So I'm going through a little bit of an identity crisis. I don't know what it is going on with me. And the only person who is supportive to me in any kind of way is my brother. Both parents, to this day, it's just something we don't talk about. But it's just a confusing time for me because I'm wondering, like, am I gay? Because that girl kissed me, she touched me, and I didn't like it. I'm more comfortable with my own gender, but at the same time, I don't like anybody that is like in my school or my neighborhood. But it's like I don't know what it is. I'm like I don't even know what it means to be asexual. I don't even know what that means at the time. But it is something that's bothering me. And you know, it did put like a gap between my mom's relationship. She did look at me a little different when I just mentioned it one time. Like, to this day, everything I felt at that time, I wasn't thinking about sex. You know, I wasn't thinking about anything sexual. Like now, see, that's when I say that everything sort of developed around 17. But just trying to think about some more things. Yeah, that was a really crazy time in my life. You know, I was really confused of my sexuality. Like I said, I went about 2010. So a good 5 years, almost 5 years, I was confused. I was ashamed of what it is I was feeling. Like when I was 17, 18, a lot of the porn I was watching, I was really ashamed about that until I acted on it. But like now, present day, it's giving me a lot of good. It's just giving me a lot of just information about my body I didn't know. You know, it's giving me some good. It's taught me a lot. And I'm comfortable with myself now. Like, I'm not uncomfortable with anything that I do. And I really feel like what it is now, it's just the sex is better. Because like I told you, prior to coming to Florida, I've never been satisfied sexually in bed, ever. I've never experienced, I don't want to get all explicit, but it's like put it like this. I've never experienced an orgasm where I did nothing for it to come out. It like did it itself. Put it like that. It never ever happened like that before. But now I'm not ashamed of anything. Just to wrap it up, I don't hate being black, being dark skinned. I know I may appear another color on camera, but I don't hate myself. I don't hate what it is I do in bed or who I want to sleep with or love. I'm not ashamed of that. The only thing I can say is I just have OCD traits that I feel like would never go away. But all my insecurity around 15 is gone. I don't care what people think of me. I don't care about being popular or a bunch of people staring at me when I walk in a room. They can look all the fuck they want. Take a picture because it'll last longer. But 14 years ago, going on 15 years later, I am no longer confused of who I am. I'm proud of who I am. I'm proud of everything. And most importantly, I just promote this, man. You know what? I'm gonna do another part to this.